Hi, everyone. Welcome to a special episode where we have Diego here. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. And thank you, Daniel, for your invitation.
Anytime. So glad we can make it happen. And so very briefly on my end, like I think I've seen your content a little bit here and there, but really you sent me an email a couple of weeks ago. You read my book, you liked it, and we started talking about that. And you're a sleep coach as well. So I was like, why don't we talk a little bit more and we make an episode of this? So just maybe you can start with on the flip side. How did you find me?
Well, so this comes from my history, from my insomnia history, and how I started my coaching business, because I had problems with insomnia from April, let's say spring 2016 till let's say the middle of 2018, and it was quite hard. But okay, in the end, I solved it, and then we can talk also a little bit how I solved it. And then when I recovered from insomnia, I got quite interested about this about sleep and all that goes around sleep, because while I was suffering from insomnia, I didn't learn anything. I wasn't searching in internet anything. I didn't know anything about sleep hygiene, CBT-I, and all these kind of techniques. I just recovered. Okay, I had to do things to recover, because I was also in this vicious cycle. I never took sleeping pills or okay, some melatonin, Bach flowers. Okay, I tried something. Tapping was something that helped me a little bit, but nothing really solved. And my insomnia was quite serious, because I had hallucinations, I had panic attacks. Sometimes when I got out of the car, I didn't feel the ground under my feet, and that was something really scary for me. And sometimes I felt like my head was crashing. So the sensations I had were quite scary. And as I told you, I tried some supplements also, but they were not working. So in the end, what really helped me come out of this, solve this problem, was take charge of my life. No, I felt that everything was falling apart. Everything was really going bad. Okay, there was an experience, and this comes to how I found you.
Yes.
Because during this 2 years period, I did I don't know how you call it in English, the way of St. James, Camino de Santiago.
Oh, yes, like you walk along it. Yeah, exactly. I escapes me, but I know. Yeah.
And so, and for 1 month, I walked every day. I walked for about 1,000 kilometers, and during that month, I was sleeping very well. And of course, I was sleeping in big rooms with sometimes more than 100 people. There was no sleep hygiene. The beds were very uncomfortable, and so on. And so I thought I had solved the problem. When I came back, the problem got even worse. And okay, and then I started, as I told you, I left my job, because the job I was doing was part of the problem. Was very stressed. I didn't like that job anymore. So it was a job that I wanted to leave much earlier than my insomnia, but I didn't do. And so I felt that everything was going bad I wasn't satisfied about everything. So I thought I have to change something in my life. So I quit my job, and not to stay on the couch and complain and so on. I said, okay, now I quit the job, and I have to decide what I want to do in my life. And I've always been attracted by self-development. I did already some trainings in the past. So I wanted to do something in this field. So I went to a training course, a coaching training. So, but generical, not about sleep. And I felt that these decisions were helping me, because they were more focused on what I really liked, what was really important for me. And as I told you before, the problems got less and less I started to solve by itself, because I was more focused on what was important to me. And this is a great part of the way now I coach people, because as I told you, I didn't know anything about sleep hygiene and anything about techniques to solve insomnia. And then when I started to feel better, I thought, well, I had this great experience, that taught me a lot of things. Why don't I help people with sleep? And so I started to read books. I bought some books. I bought some trainings about online courses, trainings about sleep. And there, at that point, I started to know what is sleep hygiene. I started to know about CBT-I and different things. And then I started, of course, to search on the internet, the web, who is helping people with insomnia. And I found you as well. But you were still talking about CBT-I. And when we understood CBT-I, I thought, this is not something that I can do, because I'm not a therapist, but it's not something that I trust. Because when I was reading this and that thing and learning about sleep, I felt also what would have helped me. What I was learning helped me understand why I solved my insomnia, because sometimes I told you, okay, I didn't focus on sleep. I focused on what was important for me. So I started to understand that this helped me not to get hyper aroused, let's say, let go some of my anxiety and so on. And then I started to learn also about other things that could have helped me if I knew them before. And so you were still talking about CBT-I, and last year I saw the interview with Sasha Stevens, because I have her book, and I know what she did. What's her story, and the insight she had when she did that weekend, or I don't know, that experience. That was something like mine during the Santiago, no? But she recovered from that. I went back to my insomnia problems. But when I left my job, that was the point, the moment where I started to understand, or that was the turning point, let's say, for my insomnia. Because what I've understood, that CBT-I and lots of techniques are focused on managing somehow sleep or doing this kind of things. No? So very, very focused on sleep. But if you were an insomniac, and if you were an insomniac, there would be an earthquake in this moment. So I make it very extreme, because that's my understanding that really helped me and that I use with my clients. If there were an earthquake, you wouldn't think about insomnia. You would think about, how can I save my life? Okay?
Yeah.
Because this is an experience that really needs your full attention in the present moment. Okay, but this is extreme, of course. This is an experience that makes you fearful, and makes you feel hyper aroused, and this is something that we don't want. But if we go out of our comfort zone and do something that we really like, that also helps to move our attention from sleep to something that is more valuable and more important. Because what I see now when I coach people, that some of them tell me, is maybe they don't really tell me, but that's what I perceive from the way they speak. I leave my life on hold, on standby, and I focus on sleep, so I solve the problem much quicker, no? But this doesn't work. So when in my training, my coaching, I would say 1/3 on sleep. I mean, managing a little bit thoughts, understanding anxiety, understanding stress, understanding what's really related to sleep. And from your books, I've learned lots of things, lots of details that I couldn't understand by myself. But somehow 2/3 of my work is focused on the day. So people start living a normal life, no? Because if you think, an insomniac has this goal, sleep. But a person that sleeps well doesn't have this goal of sleep. Sleep is a part of his lifestyle. So this should be a way of teaching people, I think, on how to, the way that you have to use to help people recover them sleep, not to make an issue, but okay, that's a part of your lifestyle. So let's look at your life in general. No, so I help people. Some things that there's lots of things that I keep trying and testing and experimenting. For example, with a guy that has finished the training a couple of weeks ago. He saw this anxiety, stress, but then I work on his self-image about sleeping, because he kept saying, "I'm not stressed, during the night. I'm not anxious anymore. I enjoy my life, But still, he was still saying, "I see myself, tossing and turning during the night, not in an anxious way." So I thought, okay, he has this picture in his mind, and I gave him a meditation that I prepared where he had to visualize himself sleeping, and that completely solved his insomnia just in a few days. Okay, first we work on his feelings, on his thoughts in general, but then this is something, for example, that solved the problem. But in general, when I work with people, I try to use the experience of insomnia as an experience that can enrich and enrich their life. They can. I train them in a way that they solve insomnia, but they learn skills that they can use also in their everyday life.
Yes, 100%.
Because if just to finish, then maybe you have some questions.
Sure.
Because people that have insomnia are very focused are in this vicious cycle. And this vicious cycle is the cycle of stress and anxiety, if you think about that, I will lose my job, I will get sick, I will die. That's anxiety. Then I have to do this, and this. I have to change my daily routine, my sleep routine. I have to take this, and that's stress, So stress, anxiety, stress, anxiety, stress, anxiety. So if I teach people to understand what is stress and what is anxiety, and to manage them in a more balanced way and understanding what they are. This anxiety and stress are also the parts of the predisposing traits and precipitating events. So if they learn in the vicious cycle to manage them, they will solve also the other causes, or they will change somehow how they are, how they feel about themselves. So they become more confident people. They feel that they can face their fears, that they can achieve goals. So really, people that really follow me in this training, at the end they are thankful because they feel that something has really changed deeply in their life. A lady that has just finished the training told me, my husband tells me that he sees me changed. And I asked him, and she asked her husband, but how do you see me? Do you see like I was before suffering from insomnia? No, you are much more confident. So I think this is something that is more valuable to people, because they want to solve insomnia, of course. But if you give them this feeling that this experience has been a learning experience in their life, they have skills that they can use in everyday life. That's really, I think, the main what makes me also feel happier and make me feel that I've really achieved what I wanted to give these people. I mean, I've transferred them part of what was my experience throughout insomnia, because really I can say that insomnia changed my life for the better.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thanks so much for sharing all this, Diego. And I think now we have like a very nice picture of kind of like overview, and we'll go into some more detail. But I just want to of course agree with you wholeheartedly that it's often like somebody comes to you and says like, I can't sleep, but doesn't fully see that the sleep is just sort of a teaching, something we can learn from that can like really change your life 100%. But yeah, I know a few things. Firstly, I didn't even introduce you properly. So where in the world are you? I know you're in Italy, but where in Italy are you?
In the north, close, let's say, Verona. I don't know if you know Verona,
Yeah.
Venice, northeast, let's say, of Italy.
Up there, right? And you work, by the way, you work mainly with clients in Italy, or do you take international clients to everyone?
No,
Or
I mainly work in Italy. So
all
I
right.
work in Italy, just in Italy, because I train in Italian. So I haven't thought about training in English because okay, I'm still growing. I've started it in let's say in a couple of years ago. So I had to study, I have to understand things, I have to try that. When you start something, you make some mistakes. Things don't work out immediately. So don't work
Yeah.
immediately. So no, now I feel that my way of teaching is getting clearer and clearer, and is working, and is really working. So I'm focused on this, and then I'm focused not on work. I'm focused on working not on not just with insomniacs, but maybe also people that wants to learn how to sleep better for their performance, or different things, or different purposes. Because really, if you think sleep is very, very important for everything. So I've started with insomniacs because that's how to say, where I have main experience. I have my experience that I can give to people. But then I will see how all these things will develop.
Very, very cool. Now, so I know, I think both of us probably agree that, the details of how someone started having trouble sleeping actually isn't important at all. But this said, it gives context to everything. So if you don't mind, like sharing a little bit more about like, what started for you, and what was the journey like up until that, I forget the name also, the kind of like the what's the word when you take like a journey to you follow this kind of to a saint or something. I forget the name, but anyway, up until that point,
Santiago, the way of Santiago.
the way of Santiago. Yeah, take us from like why did this start, insomnia, for you? Was it clear why it started, and take us to like when it changed again?
Well, let's say I was very frustrated because I was doing that job for a long time, and I felt that I was not happy doing that job. But there was fear. I didn't know what else to do. It was a job that was also paying me good money. So you have these things in mind, and also my relationship was not going well. So I felt really stuck in my life. I wasn't able to take decisions. I was feeling really miserable in that period of life. So these things led me to insomnia, profound dissatisfaction, and the inability to take decisions. And so it was that was a vicious cycle as well, because you know what you would like to do, but then you're stressed, then you have anxiety. What if it doesn't work? If I cannot find a job? That's why I'm saying insomnia has taught me lots of things about my life in general, because now I face things in a totally different way. Anyway, I started to suffer from insomnia. Just a few months later, I went to this way of St. James. It was already planned before, and it was my ex-girlfriend, the lady I was living with, that wanted to do this. So it was really, really a nice experience. But as I told you,
Exactly.
I could sleep, but I was not happy anyway in that, because in fact, when I came back, everything started again because the things that led me to insomnia were not solved.
Exactly. And your insomnia. Yeah, sorry, Diego. Like your insomnia experience, was it like, there were many nights you didn't sleep at all, or was it mostly you never felt refreshed, or what was it like?
No. Every night I woke up at 2:00, more or less, until 4 or 5 o'clock. I wasn't able to sleep. So normally I got up, I went to the couch, and I do some tapping. Sometimes was helping me. I started to cry. No, I was doing the EFT protocol. So I tears were coming out of my eyes, and I felt a little bit not so anxious anymore. Okay. Then, as we know, after when it's time to wake up, you fall asleep because you don't have any more. So that's what was happening to me. So about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I felt I was falling asleep. So I went back to bed, and that was happening every night, every single night.
Absolutely.
And during the day, okay, I could work. I had to work because I was working on commission payment, so I couldn't stay at home. I had to, and I can say that somehow saved me because I was forced to work. But of course, the sales were not going well. No, they were going down and down and down and down. And sometimes when I was talking to a client, I felt like I was a robot. To say it was mechanical. Just my face was. I couldn't smile. I felt as if I was under drugs and so on. I felt that people were feeling that I was not very well. So this doesn't help in sales. That's why the sales were going down and down. Exactly. And it was very, very hard. And sometimes I was getting out of the car and not feeling the ground before going to a client, maybe 10, 15 minutes before going to a client. So I was looking for something I could touch because it was scary. I couldn't feel the ground. So what's happening? So with the hands, I was touching things or sitting on a bench or something where I could feel the ground. But I've never taken sleeping pills or pills for anxiety because I was in this vicious cycle, but I was aware that I was creating it. But anyway, I was not able to solve it. So I was aware that drugs were not the solution because anyway, after a few hours, the same thoughts, the same situation would have come back again.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, no, thanks for sharing that because as you know, like so many people have these experiences. They think like, for example, like I can't feel my ground. Something must be really wrong with me. So it's just helpful to hear that that happened to you, and now you don't experience that anymore. And by the way, was this later on? Did you identify this as a type of panic attack, or was that a separate thing, the panic attacks?
Well, things were solved completely. So I started to focus on what I wanted to do, what was important to me, and I cannot say I solved insomnia that day, on the 1st of, let's say, July.
Yes.
I just simply started to live my life. I was not completely rested, maybe sometimes in the morning, but I started not to pay attention anymore. So for what I remember, maybe I started to stay. I woke up, but I felt less anxious. So I just accepted that. Okay, I was awake, but I felt, maybe I was awake, but I was thinking about the things that I wanted to do during the day, the positive things. So no more, what can I do now to sleep?
Exactly. And let's actually stay there because I'm sure you must get this question all the time, and I'm sure you have something prepared for it, which is, a lot of people will say, I want to do things during the day, but I'm just I'm just so tired, I can't do it, or I just don't feel like it. I'm kind of emotionally drained. So what's your go-to teaching for someone that understands that, yes, it probably would be better for me if I look forward to the day, but I just have such a hard time looking forward to it. I feel so tired. What's your go-to answer for that one?
Well, normally people start to tell me, I ask me, what don't you do during the day that you would like to do? Okay? Because I have to take things that they like to do, because so they are more motivated to do them. Some people tell me that I'm not going out anymore. I'm not going out in the evening anymore because I'm thinking when I'm out with friends, I'm having dinner. I think about sleep. I don't tell them. Maybe they don't even know that I have this problem. But I think about sleep. So At the beginning, I don't force them. I give them some, maybe I help them to be more mindful, to observe more, a little bit more their thoughts. No, normally people already just after a couple of weeks tell me, I feel my mind less full of thought. No, I feel more relaxed. I feel I have a little bit more energy now. I feel more relaxed. They're maybe not sleeping, but I feel that something is changing. So that's the moment when I challenge them a little bit. Why don't you go out then and enjoy one evening and see what happens? One lady, for example, that is finishing now the training, when she came to me, she told me when we had I normally do a free call, just to know and to see if I can help them with my training, or if there's something that needs a doctor or a therapist. And when she arrived, she told me, I want to take 10 days off from my job. No, I feel so bad. I feel so anxious. I cannot sleep. Everything. And I told her, no, don't do that. Go to work. No? And I need to take some pills. She was taking Xanax. I told her, no, in case don't take something extra for the night. Take something for the morning. You need energy for the day. Take a supplement. That's my suggestion that I give people. No? Instead of taking more supplements for the night that help you to relax, so you're focused. Oh, will this help me? Will this help me? Will not help me? Take something for in the morning that helps you have more energy. So you have more energy. You can do the things that you have to do and that maybe you like to do. Okay, and this lady already just the week later already told me, do you know that I've slept this night? Then she went back. You know how it works. It was not solved completely. But in the middle of I do an 8-week training. And it was in the middle of it. It was after 4 weeks. She went on holiday for a few days. And what happened? That she forgot Xanax at home. And she told me, I realized that I forgot Xanax at home when I was already driving to the holiday, to the place where I wanted to spend my holiday. But I didn't want to buy it. She has a relative that is a doctor. She could have prescribed it, and she could have bought it in a pharmacy where she was spending her holiday. I didn't want to buy it. I wanted to trust the work, the training, the things that were changing. And in fact, she slept during those days. That's what I mean. So during the day, she had this experience that that was not Xanax that was helping her to sleep. That was
absolutely.
So,
and I was just gonna
say, try to create, how to say, experiences during the day that prove them that they can sleep, or that they can live their life, a normal life or quite normal life, even if they are not sleeping. So this helps them to feel more confident, more relaxed. They see that, okay. One thing that I keep saying to my clients is, what do I say? Don't let. I don't remember exactly the sentence I use, but don't let sleep condition your life.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely.
And you tell me. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, like, I agree 100% that when we see that we can do things we enjoy, or even things that are just meaningful to us during the day, even if we didn't sleep much, that helps so much. Takes so much pressure off of sleep. That's so helpful. And I was going to say that the fact that she forgot her Xanax alone says so much, right? Because probably, if she didn't have the understanding that she had after working some with you, then she would never have forgotten it, because she was so focused on, I have to have. So the fact that she forgot it is just so nice. And by the way, one thing I want to ask was, like, okay, so you come from this this journey, like this long 1,000-kilometer walk you did, and you'd been sleeping well, and then you go back and you have all this trouble again. What was your thinking then, as for, like, how did you think about that? Like, why did you think you had slept so well when you were on the walk, and how do you think about that?
Well, of course, I was walking many hours per day. I was out of my comfort zone. I was meeting people I've never met. I've doing experience that I've never done. So that's going back to what I told you before. I was completely focused on that. And of course, we know staying in the light for many hours, exercising, and these kind of things can help you. No,
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit also with sleep. But when I came back, something strange happens. If you do that experience, you will the way of Santiago, probably you will experience as well. Everything is very, very slow for that month. Some people do it just for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, just a stretch, just a part of it. I did complete. I did it, the full way. So 1 month, and everything goes so slow, because even when I took the bus to go to the airport to come back to Italy, I felt I was flying on this bus, because already moving at 50 kilometers per hour felt like an incredible speed. So then you go back and take the car. So the first days you feel a little bit strange, and during the night, because normally, I did it in July, so it was very, very hot, and so normally we woke up at 5, 6 in the morning to walk. We normally walk for about 6, 7 hours per day. So we try to walk early in the morning, to finish around 11 midday, not in and so to relax and rest in the afternoon when it's hotter. No? So also the first days when I came back during the night, I felt that I had to wake up to start walking. So the first day was a little bit like this, and then I went back to Insomnia, because my life was the same as before. So I had to go back to work. The relationship was not working, and these kind of things. Yeah. And so everything again. But then. And this was 2016, so I took 1.5 more year, 18 more months before taking the decisions and decided to face the problem.
All right, wow, powerful story again. I got a little sidetracked there, but I want to share something with you and see just your reaction to it. This is something I haven't talked so much or shared so much, but it just came to me as we were speaking, which was basically that insomnia really, in a way, it's not a sleep problem, and I say that because how we sleep is really just a manifestation of like deeper, like, so you can say insomnia is kind of like the surface manifestation of deeper things, which is how we feel and how we think, right? And the confusing thing can be like when you focus on the sleep, you're only on the surface. You don't understand what's happening underneath. But when you do the opposite, when you see like, oh, it's not a sleep problem at all. It's actually not a sleep problem. When I understand what's going on inside, I understand my emotions, how I feel, then we're working on the deeper layers. And when kind of we have peace at the deeper layers, then that surface becomes still. But it's actually not a sleep problem, actually. Does it resonate with you?
Yeah. Sometimes I tell to my clients, no, but why do I have insomnia? My boss, my wife doesn't have. But maybe she has headaches, or she has pains in other parts of the body. I think some people have insomnia, some people have this other ways, other pains in other parts of the body.
Absolutely. And same thing there. Then if that person goes like, something's wrong with my head, something's wrong like here, then they will get a little confused and stuck, right? But when they see that, oh, the headache is because of how I feel in my relationship with my boss, then we're working on the right level, right?
That's why I told you, you work on anxiety and stress, but then if you learn to understand what is anxiety, what is stress, how they create this vicious cycle, and when you start to see them, to solve it, then you really understand how anxiety and stress work in everyday life, in work, and in a relationship, and so on. So that's why you can become through insomnia. Because what have my feeling is, if you have that problem can be solved by another person. Somebody lends you money, a relative of yours. This is an outer problem. That can scare you. But when you have a problem, with yourself, it's even scary, because nobody can lend you his head, nobody can lend you his body, no? And with insomnia, even drugs, sleeping pills, supplements don't work. So that's what's really scary. Where is this problem? What can I do? When you understand that it's not there that you have to focus, but on understanding, on awareness, on dealing first with these emotions, these thoughts, understand them, and then you understand that it's not a sleeping problem.
Right.
It's a problem. It's a wrong way of dealing with thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and somehow the way you live your life.
Absolutely.
If you want to focus in a broader way, no?
100%. And you know, kind of shifting gears a little bit here. I was really curious about some things that I think will be, you know, the community also will like to hear about, which is, I imagine that being a sleep coach in Italy, are there others, or are you like the only one, or is there a little community, or what's going on there?
Well, I can say I was the first one that I started when I was telling people I'm a sleep coach. What? And then I started to explain. Now there are some people that I see that are starting to do this, and I think there's need for this, because it's said that about 9 million Italians suffer from chronic insomnia, and I think even more now with this COVID problem. No?
Absolutely.
But when I started, I was the only one. So there are therapists that do CBT-I. No? Okay. My feeling is that it's not the right. When I think about my insomnia, now I know what is CBT-I, and when I think about insomnia, I have two reactions. One is, this is too simple somehow, you know, just change a little bit behaviors, wake up during the night, go to sleep late, wake up at the same time. This is too simple because you are in a vicious cycle. And at the same time, it's too difficult to do this, wake up and do this kind, you know, wake up at this, go to sleep very late, so do sleep restriction, and also follow the sleep hygiene, because, you know, people, you know, as well, no, become obsessed. They follow this as a rule, no? So it's difficult also, no? They have to do this, and this. So at the same time, it's too simple, because it's not that what solves really the vicious cycle, but at the same time too difficult.
Yeah.
So I think that people get confused. Okay, it seems simple, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's also difficult.
Yeah, I wanted your take on this too, so I'm glad you shared it. And I talk a lot about this now on my channel, so I won't go too deep into it, but I totally agree. CBT-I has a lot of problems, exactly like you said, 100%. And now and currently, so you do like now you have an 8-week program, and how do you set it up? Do you talk to your client once a week? Do they have some kind of curriculum, or how do you do it?
I have an online course. So I structured my course in this way. I've to say, I've focused on 4 areas. Not to say 3 mainly. The third, the fourth, I'll explain. One is I call my method, to say, R.E.S.T. R.E.S.T. So 4 letters. It's an acronym. R stands for reconnection. You mean you have to reconnect to yourself, not to the problem. You have to let go of the problem. You have not to be controlled by the problem. When you are connected to yourself, you're no more scared about the problem. So I teach some things there. I do some meditations. I help people to be more mindful about this. I teach them, okay, this is one part. So reconnection, be connected to yourself. The second thing, the E is expression. What we told before, no? Express yourself. Have some little girls, be grateful. I teach gratefulness, not be grateful. No, when you wake up, one thing to do is grateful. Write 10 things you are grateful in this moment in your life. No? So I help people to understand a little bit more their values, what is important to them, because that's helped them to focus on their day, not just on the night. The third thing, S, stands for lifestyle. So I don't teach sleep hygiene. I also explain them what is sleep hygiene, but I help people to have more energy. No, just to enjoy the day, to have the energy to live their life. Okay, so lifestyle more general, to have energy during the day and relax in a spontaneous way in the evening, as everybody does. And the fourth thing is traceability. I have the ORE, but I don't have my clients buy it. But I mean, I give them a sheet of paper where, I mean, with traceability, when I will work with performance, I will use this kind of tools and so on. But now with insomniacs, I don't want to use them. But I use a sheet where they have to write what they have done during the day, what they think could harm their sleep, if during the night they don't sleep, what they think is the matter. If they have done gratefulness, the practice of gratefulness, or these kind of things, because that helps them to become aware. And then every week I ask them, send it to me, a picture, so I can have an idea about. I also ask them, write. Not everybody does it anyway. Some people don't like this worksheet or this to fill this paper. I don't ask them. If they like, they can do. But that's mainly for them to see if there are patterns, to understand. No, because it's important. Then they send. Maybe they don't see the patterns, and then I help them to see, and so they are more motivated to change them. No? That's what I do. So I give every week. There's a video on each of these 4 topics, and every week we have an coaching, an online coaching. So they tell me how it is, and I give them feedback, help them to strengthen what is working, help them, I help them to build their awareness.
Yes, yeah. That sounds super nice. And I guess
and then because maybe some are more interested in this, how to say, mindful work or work on the mind, so they are more focused. I mean, I give them lots of information, and I tell them, you don't have to know everything. It's okay. Mine is called also school, but it's not a school where you have to learn everything. I give you lots of informations, and then you have to pick what resonates with you. So maybe at the beginning they are more focused on this kind of mindful work, understand how to let go their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, and then when we move forward, I see that they are more focused on the expression, as I said, part. So more understand how to improve their daily life. They're no more, because some of them already just just after just a few weeks they start sleeping better. So they are no more interested in sleep, but are more interested in other topics that they find in them.
I'm smiling now because it's just like it's so funny. I'm sure you experience this paradox often when people come to you because they think I have a sleep problem, I got to focus on my sleep, learn, and when it's actually quite the opposite, that you got to focus on other things and then sleep will happen by itself. It can be confusing for people, but when you understand it, it just makes so much sense. But yeah, to like lastly here, I just want to say, it's so cool. It's just so nice to connect with someone that's in, like you're in Italy, you're working in Italian, but you do very similar work. And I've had this, as we spoke privately on email, like I was like, I've had this idea of creating some type of like association for sleep coaches, so we could kind of like, learn from each other, help each other, or something like that. But what do you think? Should we do that one day?
I think so. Because I think that we are what we are doing. We are kind of pioneers in the sleep coaching. So there's lots of things that we are discovering. People that with I see also Alina, I see Coach Michelle, also their experience. So people with different views that bring their experience that they share, and in this way we can really understand what can really solve the problem in a way that helps people not only to sleep well, but solve also the primary, the other, the precipitating and the predisposing factors. So do a work that is more, whole, more complete.
Yes. Absolutely, and I think not to belittle anyone's work out there, but I read this book from the Wright brothers, the pioneers of light, and somehow they were one of the I think the older one, I think it was Orville, was asked about like his approach, and he said, well, there are two ways, because nobody knew how to fly back then. So he said there are two ways you can learn how to fly. One way is you can look at it as how to learn how to ride a horse. One way is you look at the horse and you study its movements and you make ideas about, you probably should ride it like this and do that. Or you can get on the horse and try riding it until you figure out how to do it, right? And somehow I think that what we do is more of like, let's just try and see what works, and it's practical, versus I think a lot of the work in academia has been like, let's think and ponder, but it's not really tested, if you will. Do you agree?
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I came to this sleep coaching business. I started from my experience. I've learned then reading books and so on. Also books of CBT-I help me to understand things, but then I don't use those techniques, but help me to understand also some things that are useful. So I started from my experience. I read books to understand what worked with me. I understood other things that can help people. And now I keep testing things, because I read books about different subjects. As I told you, with this guy, I worked on his self-image, and it worked. So that's something about mindset. It's not something about sleep, but it worked. Exactly. And I gave it to another person, another lady, and she told me, oh, this is wonderful. Huh? So with them it worked, but as I told, I give lots of tools and I let them experiment, and then I get feedback from my clients, and then from their feedback I also learn.
Exactly.
And I think this is the way to build something that is effective,
practical effect. Exactly.
Practical, because people don't want theory, they want results.
Exactly.
That's what they want.
Exactly. 100%. That was so nice.
And something that also made me think about CBT-I. Okay, you do the technique, but you don't have learned. So if you go back to sleep, I have to do the technique. No. You have to learn that sleep is something that I keep saying to my clients. We work both on day and night, because the day brings goes into the night, and the night goes into the day. So we have to do this harmonious work. And so you won't think about sleep anymore. You enjoy your life, and everything will work out. Will work in a very smooth way.
It will. So nice, super nice way to end this call. And I just want to say, very nice connecting, Diego, and stay in touch, and we'll talk again. All right.
Sure.
Okay. Bye for now.